A new study of kids' meals at the nation's top chain restaurants is out this morning. It finds that 97% of those meals do not meet nutritional standards.
You step into a restaurant at noon just wanting something quick and decent, but some lunch spots turn that into a gamble, leaving you overcharged, underwhelmed, or wondering if you just ate a health violation. Lunch should fuel your day, not make you regret it. Yet somehow, the same mistakes keep landing on tables nationwide. Let's start with a place that somehow still convinces people that meatball sandwiches are a good midday idea. Subway. From the outside, it looks innocent enough. Fresh vegetables on display, a wall of bread options, and that vaguely promising smell of toasted something. But the illusion starts to crack as soon as you look closer. The bread? It contains more sugar than a chocolate chip cookie. Literally. In fact, Irish courts once ruled Subway's bread legally could not be classified as bread because of its high sugar content. That's right. If you're trying to eat healthy, your sandwich just failed its passport check in Europe. Then there's the meat. In 2021, a lab test of Subway's tuna found no actual tuna DNA. None. Whatever that scoop is, it might be better classified as sea-inspired paste. Cold cuts, packed with preservatives and nitrates, and sliced from meat logs that look like they were designed by someone who has never seen an actual animal. The turkey is so wet and slimy, it's more of a slip hazard than a protein source. As for the meatballs, imagine a sponge soaked in tomato sauce, then microwaved until lukewarm. That's lunch. And the cheese isn't really cheese. Most of it is processed product with just enough dairy to pass legal requirements, if you squint. Still think the veggies will save you? Those are chopped and bagged days in advance at central facilities, doused in anti-browning chemicals, and shipped across the country before they land on your sandwich. The tomatoes are pale, the lettuce is rubbery, and the onions could double as packing material. Nothing feels crisp, everything feels tired, and the fresh slogan starts to feel more like a dare. It gets worse behind the counter. Former employees have shared stories of food left out too long, gloves not changed between stations, and sneeze guards used more as decoration than protection. When the people making your sandwich start refusing to eat the food themselves, it's not a good sign. Health inspections often cite issues with temperature control and cross-contamination, especially during busy lunch hours when employees are racing to meet line quotas. Want mayo? Hope you enjoy it at room temperature. And then there's the portion trick. Subway has shrunk their sandwich sizes so subtly over the years that a 6-inch now feels more like 4.5. But prices keep climbing. A basic combo meal now edges toward $10, and for that you're getting wet meat, sugar bread, and a bag of air with some chips at the bottom. Still hungry? Let's head to a place that's mastered the art of making everything taste vaguely like salt and nostalgia. We're talking about Applebee's, the chain where lunch menus go to collect dust. You might walk in expecting something comforting. What you get is a microwaved time capsule of disappointment. Applebee's lunch experience usually starts with a laminated menu covered in stock photos of dishes that look much better than reality. The Bourbon Street Chicken? Actually a plate of overcooked poultry drowned in sugar glaze. The salad? Mostly iceberg with cherry tomatoes that have seen better days, and croutons that could chip a tooth. Everything tastes like it came from the same deep freezer, and in many cases it did. That signature sizzle when your skillet lunch arrives? It's mostly steam from microwaved oil poured onto a preheated pan. It is all about the performance. The actual food was cooked hours ago, vacuum sealed, and nuked right before it hit your table. Applebee's kitchen relies heavily on pre-packaged, pre-cooked, and pre-seasoned food. That burger? Grilled on a flat top so slick with old grease that the patties pick up flavors from every meal cooked before yours. Even something simple like mozzarella sticks turns into a trap. They look golden and crunchy until you bite in and realize the cheese inside is already cooling back into a rubbery rope. Nothing is made fresh. Nothing is made with care. And somehow, every bite tastes both over-seasoned and underwhelming at the same time. You do not eat Applebee's, you endure it. Let's not forget the sodium situation. One lunch entree can pack over 2,000 milligrams of sodium, nearly your entire recommended daily limit. Add a side and a soda, and you're basically salting your arteries with a smile. The sugar is not far behind. Glazes, dressings, even healthy items like the grilled chicken salad are hiding double-digit grams of sugar per serving. It is like candy with grill marks. The service varies wildly depending on location and staff. Some Applebee's are run by kind people doing their best with what they have. Others feel like ghost kitchens with a lobby. Wait times can stretch forever, especially during lunch hours when the one working server is covering 8 tables and trying to reset silverware at the same time. When your soup arrives cold and your sandwich arrives soggy, you start to question your life choices, and for what? A $15 check, a bloated stomach, and the creeping sense that you should have just stayed in the office and eaten that sad yogurt you brought from home. Before we move on, tap, like if this is saving you from a lunch mistake, and hit subscribe for more no-fluff food breakdowns. By now you are probably thinking lunch out can't get worse than processed meat on sugar bread or a microwaved skillet parade, and yet it does. Because next up is a restaurant that has somehow turned mediocrity into a business model. It is like a diner married a factory and forgot to send the invitation to flavor. We are talking about Denny's, where the clock always says breakfast, but the food often tastes like regret. Walk into Denny's at noon and you are greeted with a smell that is equal parts burnt toast, cheap coffee, and something suspiciously egg-like. The booths are often sticky, the lighting is harsh, and the music is either too loud or just one lonely ceiling speaker playing something that makes you wonder if it is still 1997 in there. You sit down and the menu tries to offer comfort. Pancakes, burgers, sandwiches, salads. All familiar, all disappointing. Start with their lunch classics. The sandwiches sound promising. Club sandwiches, turkey melts, grilled cheese with bacon. But the reality is a soggy pile of bread, overcooked meat, and a side of fries that taste like they gave up before they were born. Their Superbird sandwich used to be a fan favorite. Now it is a lukewarm slab of deli turkey with enough grease on the bread to wax a bowling lane. Ask for soup and you get a bowl of something that could legally qualify as saltwater with vegetables. And the eggs? Denny's eggs are not scrambled. They are scrambled in theory. What lands on your plate is usually dry, rubbery, and cooked until they squeak against your fork. The hash browns that come with almost everything? A pale, oily carpet of shredded potato that has clearly spent too much time under a heat lamp and not enough time being food. The lettuce is limp. The tomatoes are mealy. The bacon is more fat than crunch. And every bite makes you wonder if the real meal is just the lesson you're learning. Denny's also has a consistency problem, and not the good kind. Some locations are managed like real restaurants. Others feel like the staff is being held there against their will. Wait times can stretch to eternity, even when the place looks half empty. You might see your server twice, once to take your order and once to deliver your bill. If you ask for coffee, you better mean it because it comes in a pot that tastes like it was filtered through despair and reheated since morning. Pricing might seem reasonable until you realize you are paying over $15 for food that tastes worse than what you can make in a microwave. A side salad costs extra, and it comes with exactly 3 cucumbers, 1 cherry tomato, and enough iceberg to make you consider giving up lunch entirely. That value combo? It is a value only if you measure it in calories, not quality. Let us leave the sad booths of Denny's and head toward a place that wants to sound exciting, but ends up tasting like confusion. That place is Panda Express, the fast casual chain that promises bold flavors and delivers sauce-covered disappointment. It starts with the steam table. It looks fun. Rows of shiny metal trays filled with orange chicken, beef and broccoli, chow mein, fried rice. Everything sizzling and colorful. But then you get your plate and reality sets in fast. Panda Express food all tastes the same. Whether it is chicken, beef, or tofu, it has been coated, battered, fried, and drowned in a sauce so sweet it could qualify as dessert. The orange chicken is the most famous dish, and for some reason, people keep ordering it. But here's the truth. It is just fried nuggets coated in what can only be described as candy glaze. One serving contains more sugar than a can of soda, and enough sodium to make your fingers swell before you get to your second bite. The Beijing beef? Same deal. Sticky, sugary, heavy. Like someone challenged a carnival chef to make meat. The chow mein sounds like a lighter option until you realize it is cooked in enough oil to lubricate an entire engine block. And the vegetables, what few there are steamed past the point of no return. Broccoli that droops, carrots that sigh. It is all beige by the time it hits your tray. Even the rice is a letdown. The fried rice is pre-cooked and reheated with bits of scrambled egg and peas, but the texture is always off, too dry or too mushy. The white rice often clumps together like someone made it in a panic. And portion control? Non-existent. You either get a mountain of food that leaves you sluggish and bloated, or a sad scoop that disappears in 3 bites, leaving only sauce stains and regret. The biggest issue is what they do not tell you. Nearly every dish at Panda Express is loaded with artificial flavors, preservatives, and sweeteners. Even the so-called healthier items on the Walk Smart menu still come with hundreds of milligrams of sodium and sugars disguised as honey or glaze. Want a low-calorie lunch? You will not find it here without leaving hungry or disappointed, or both. And here is the kicker. Panda Express kitchens are not known for consistency. Food safety audits have flagged several locations for improper food storage, cross-contamination, and reheating procedures that would make a health inspector twitch. Former employees have spoken about sauces reused for too long, chicken sitting too long on warming tables, and rushed cooks cutting corners to hit rush hour demand. Prices are creeping up too. A basic combo with 2 entrees and 1 side can easily hit $15 or more, and that is without a drink. For that kind of money, you could go to a real Chinese restaurant and get food that did not come from a plastic pouch and a corporate flavor lab. And yet, people keep coming back. Maybe it is the illusion of variety. Maybe it is the fake comfort of steam trays. But here's the truth. Lunch should not leave you thirsty, bloated, or wondering what exactly you just ate. And yet that is what you are paying for at places like this. Let us say it is just after noon. You have survived the morning, and now you want something hot, satisfying, and maybe a little indulgent. You pull into a Red Robin, lured by the promise of bottomless fries and gourmet burgers that supposedly justify the price tag. But what you end up getting is a loud dining room, overpriced plates, and food that feels more like an edible optical illusion. It looks like lunch, smells like lunch, but something just does not taste right. Red Robin markets itself as a premium burger experience. And yes, the burgers are big, the toppings are stacked, the names are clever. But all of that flash does not change the fact that the patty itself, arguably the main character in the burger, is often a letdown. Overcooked, undersalted, sometimes dry, sometimes greasy, but almost never balanced. You can order the Whiskey River barbecue burger or the Royal Red Robin with an egg on top and still get the same problem: style over substance. The meat is pre-formed and the texture reflects that. Uniform, machine-pressed, and suspiciously consistent from location to location. It is the burger version of elevator music. Technically correct, but you do not exactly look forward to it. And if you are thinking of swapping beef for a chicken sandwich or veggie burger, prepare for more compromise. The grilled chicken is usually thin, dry, and somehow manages to feel both rubbery and over-marinated. The plant-based options often suffer from being overloaded with toppings to hide what is underneath. And about those bottomless fries, yes, they are endless. But once you get past the first salty batch, the quality drops like a rock. The second and third rounds tend to be soggier, colder, and clearly pulled from the B-team pile in the back. It feels less like a generous policy and more like a psychological trick to distract from the price. Let us talk numbers. A basic burger and fries with a soft drink will run you over $20, and that is if you skip the extra sauces, upgrades, and tipping your server who had to bring you ketchup twice because the bottle was empty. You are paying premium money for what often tastes like a fast food experience in disguise. What makes Red Robin extra frustrating is that it has potential. The ingredients sound great on paper: smoked bacon, fancy cheeses, artisan buns. But poor execution ruins the whole show. It is like reading a menu written by a food stylist and eating a plate cooked by someone who lost a bet. Then there is the atmosphere. During lunch hours, Red Robin often feels like a school cafeteria with louder lighting and more screaming. The booths are sticky, the music is blasting, and the combination of birthday parties, bar televisions, and kitchen clatter makes it nearly impossible to enjoy your meal. You came in looking for lunch. You leave with a headache and fries you stopped eating halfway through. So if Red Robin was the overpriced noise machine, our last stop takes things in a different direction entirely. It is quieter, simpler, and oddly charming. But that charm starts to fade once the food arrives. We are talking about Panera Bread, a place that has branded itself as health-conscious, modern, and just upscale enough to make you feel like you are doing something good for your body. But behind that clean aesthetic and Wi-Fi friendly atmosphere lies some of the most underwhelming lunch food you can buy. Let us start with the soups. They are the backbone of the Panera lunch experience. Served in bowls, cups, or bread bowls for those feeling extra carby. The broccoli cheddar soup might be the most famous and also the most misleading. It is creamy, yes, but it is also high in sodium, made in bulk off-site and then reheated at the store. These are not freshly made soups. These are frozen, shipped, and warmed up. The bread bowl is fun until you realize it is soaked in soup grease and crumbles the moment you try to eat it. The sandwiches are another illusion. Take the turkey Bravo, for example. Fancy name. Big price. Thin slices of turkey that barely cover the bread. Bacon so fragile it might disintegrate if you breathe on it. And a mysterious sauce that tastes like someone combined mayonnaise and regret. The bread itself, often dry, sometimes stale, and more likely than not, toasted into oblivion. The ingredients are often pre-sliced, pre-portioned, and assembled in a way that would make an actual deli blush. And then there are the salads. Expensive, bland, and somehow still disappointing even with all those toppings. The lettuce is pre-washed and bagged. The dressings are pre-mixed and loaded with sugar and preservatives. You might order a chicken Caesar expecting something bold and balanced, but what you get is a handful of greens, 3 sad strips of grilled chicken, and enough croutons to sandpaper your gums. What is truly shocking is how much they charge for this experience. A basic lunch, soup, and half a sandwich with a drink can easily cost you over $15. And if you think the quality makes up for it, think again. Multiple former employees have confirmed that nearly all the food at Panera is pre-made off-site and just assembled or heated in-store. It is like fast food that went to art school and forgot how to season anything. But maybe the biggest crime is how Panera markets itself. Words like clean eating, wholesome, and fresh are thrown around like free samples. But when you look at the ingredient lists, many of the same preservatives and additives you would find at a typical drive-thru are right there in plain sight, only with fancier fonts. So where does that leave us? Red Robin wants to be a premium burger joint, but delivers uneven food in a noisy setting for a high price. Panera wants to be your healthy lunch solution, but you are paying luxury prices for frozen soup and dry sandwiches that feel like leftovers from a catered event. Lunch should be simple. It should be satisfying, honest, and not feel like a trick in a paper bag. But in restaurants like these, what you see is not always what you get, and what you pay for might just be a lesson in disappointment. If you found this breakdown helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more honest deep dives into what really ends up on your plate. The next time you grab lunch, do it armed with a little more information and a lot more caution. And remember, The truth is not always on the menu.